One thing which fascinates me a lot about you is you lead the leaders, the people you have under you, the coaches who works for you. uh, they are the known names in the market. And now with each agilist, being myself a coach, thing is we believe in experimentation. We all have our different styles, and that's the way how we operate. Now imagine multiply by 25, 30 or more people that you have under you, and now you have to still bring alignment into them. And again, as you rightly said, the concern with the coaches in the market, which we have all have observed, because of which many times we have burned the hands, and even the customers have burned the hands. So in that case, how did you brought that alignment among all of us? And how would you? What is that you want to suggest to all the agile coaches or agilists in the future, so that they can bring camaraderie with the accounts that they are working with?
Good question. It's very interesting, but let me share the secret. I did three or four things right. I shouldn't say we, because when we started this journey, there were four of us. We spent hours to debate on how will we start. There were views, opinions, and truth. So we decided how we will operate, what we will control, where we will give flexibility. Like in my organization, we have a 6-step process which we call as our agile transformation adoption journey. Initially, we do discovery, then we initiate, and then we achieve. Different names, but essence is this. Now, these three has further two sets around it. So what we did was we said we will follow this. As I mentioned earlier, methods, tools is all available. Everybody has mastered that part. What we have said is we will keep it flexible. First and foremost, what we will do is we will see what is that particular product line's need. So we did a deep dive, we call it reflections. And this is done not by leaders. This is not done by the coaches. Coaches only facilitate. The teams are asked questions and there is a response. It is recorded. There is a voting process and the teams get engaged and they figure out where the gaps are. So what have you done? You have created a pull. Now this pull from team A will be different from team B. The problem with most of us in our community is that we have the same broad brush approach and we say we will paint the town blue, red, green, depending on what your logo color is. And then we say that, this is what we will do. We kept flexibility there. Then what we said, there is a framework, there are stages. If the organization and the team is ready, we'll put tick. But then we'll do all of that in the first phase itself. And we will get that signed up. Now, what has happened? You have a roadmap, you know the journey. Now, intensity of what is needed more and what is needed less. Again, back to the tea example. Somebody likes tea with milk, somebody likes tea with more sugar, somebody likes tea with a stronger tea. You give that. We are not judging that why you did 5 days of training instead of 4 prescriptive days. Maybe their start point was different, but the training name is same. Material, our entire training material is same. Anybody who has joined the organization can be a celebrity coach, does not matter. I myself, when I start a new program, and I do some programs, not all, I undergo the process of attending the session once, pairing with the another coach trainer at least twice, if not once, pick a couple of topics to do that, and then I am declared as train the trainer qualified for that training. So absolute leveling is done. You may be a celebrity on a weekend, but you are not a celebrity. We are all equals. Designation does not matter a lot. There are some things which you have to do for administrative purpose. We do that. We will have to continue doing that. There is no shortcut. It's only in the books, and some people can sell that as a concept of holocracy or similar concepts. Not only one, but there are others. But I don't think in our Indian context that these are very, very workable things in large corporates specifically. Even in small teams of large corporates, you probably can't do any of those things. Nothing against the theoretical concept, but practically there is a challenge. So we do that. And the last and most important thing is our reviews are same. There is a very standard template for knowing whether you have moved or not moved. If you're not moved, is it because of you or is it because of the teams you're supporting? The governance process is same, steering board for each team is same, and that's how we operate. And everybody sits and everybody's review. Everybody is allowed to question junior, senior. If you are intelligent and your question is intelligent, you will get intelligent answers. If you are stupid and you want to try to be intelligent in a meeting room where intelligent people are sitting, you'll ask 2 or 3 stupid questions, you will get bashed. You will be cautious, you will learn how to ask questions. So that also is a good learning process. Now you can't say you're stupid, I will not respond. In corporate world, that's not easy. You can potentially do that, but that's not good for both parties. So how do you do that? You give responses. Okay, we will talk offline, and let me tell you the concept, and I will explain you this, and something like that. You will say. So that leveling also has happened. So egos are managed very sweetly, respectfully, and individual performances have to be demonstrated in results, not in what you have done. Past, everybody has great past, and that's why we hire people. I also have a great past, but my great past is relevant for my current organization only when I deliver in this organization. The rest is all for certificates. That's it. And this is very clearly communicated before hiring, during the orientation, and at every checkpoint. So it works better, and we are all contributing. Any new training material which is created is mostly done by 2 or 3 people, reviewed by a board, which is again self-nominated, depending on the topic. Suppose somebody has interest on PO, somebody has interest on Scrum Masters, they only get involved. And this entire thing is made available for the rest of the organization for 15 days. You comment. Commentary ends after that. First pilot will happen for a new training. Feedback will be incorporated. It is monitored by more than one person. All learnings are incorporated after every batch of training, and it is taken seriously. So when you do that, it becomes very democratized. People start respecting each other. You try to be pushy about some 1 or 2 topics. When it's your turn, the entire gang will do the same to you. So you should know what meaningful thing you are doing. So we open up, but there is always a limit to everything. Democracy cannot continue for a lifetime.
Thank you.